'cause The View is live. Bay's on board. The Bay Hive and beyond are buzzing about twins on the way. Is she sending a secret message with this photo? The ladies investigate. Plus, this Gucci bag worth almost $2,000 could be yours by the end of the show. So don't miss 1 second. And Dr. Phil McGraw reveals his plan to heal a divided America and how his show became the hottest meme of 2017.
Catch me outside, how about that?
Let's go! How about some hot topics with Whoopi, Sunny Hostin, Joy Behar, Sarah Haynes, and Jedediah Bila. Now, let's get things started.
When Omarosa was here last Friday, she promised, as a black woman in Trump's White House, she would make sure it is an inclusive administration. Take a look.
I'm honored to serve all of the different groups who want to engage with this administration. In fact, right now I'm planning our Black History Month program, and it's going to be extravagant.
And here is the extravaganza that President Trump threw to kick off Black History.
So this is our little breakfast. I am very proud now that we have a museum in the National Mall where people can learn about Reverend King, so many other things. Frederick Douglass is an example of somebody who's done an amazing job and is being recognized more and more, I notice.
Are you? He's done an amazing job.
I want to point out that Frederick Douglass died 122 years ago.
But he did an amazing job when he was alive.
He did an amazing job. And apparently the reporters weren't quite sure what to make of the president's comments about Frederick Douglass. And his press secretary, Sean Spicer, didn't really help clear anything up. Let's take a look.
Well, I think there's contributions. I think he wants to highlight the contributions that he has made. And I think through a lot of the actions and statements that he's going to make, I think the contributions of Frederick Douglass will become more and more.
It's clear that these two white guys know diddly.
But you think between the first incident and the second, they'd like open a history book or something, or phone a friend, maybe?
Yeah.
But there were, okay, so Twitter blew up because people caught on to this. There are some people that know he's passed a while ago. So Trump Black History became a hashtag. I celebrate Jesse Jackson, who with his brothers, Michael, Jermaine, Toto, and Andrew, wrote the soundtrack of our lives. And then another one, Trump Black History. Malcolm X was a great leader. No one could have led the X-Men better. He was hugely successful. Spreading education every day.
This was so shocking to me because Omarosa did say here, you know, I asked her, what does she say to the criticism that people are basically saying that Donald Trump is just using her for optics, that he doesn't care about black people. And she went off on this long explanation about how, you know, she was the American dream and how she was there to teach him. I don't know what she has taught him.
I guess he missed that lesson.
He must have missed the lesson. I mean, one thing that I think Omarosa should tell Donald Trump is that, you know, he's constantly talking about black people in the inner cities without jobs. And 84.4%, Mr. Trump, is the percentage of blacks 25 and over with a high school diploma or higher. The U.S. Census Bureau for 2012 shows that 11.2 million black children are living with two married parents. So this notion somehow that African Americans aren't doing well.
I think it might have been an interruption in Mr. Bannon's thinking, because, you know, I believe in my soul that Steve Bannon is controlling everything, because I just feel he's handing the new president this information, and it's just sort of, and in a funny way, I think maybe he's doing it to try to get, you know, to blow it all up so that he can get in and become the president. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it's conspiracy. Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
See, this was a moment for me on that note where I feel, see, Steve Bannon is not dumb, but I think he was behind the scenes like this, because I think when Trump goes and actually acts like Trump, this is what happens, that he doesn't know what he's talking about. He doesn't do his research. If you're going to do a breakfast and you're going to be celebrating Black History Month, do your research much know something going out there. The other point to be made here, though, is that he spent so much time talking about himself in the breakfast. He's talking about Fox News, CNN, what somebody did for him.
Let's walk it through. Let's walk it through. But let's get to the thing we were talking about.
breakfast.
And then we'll get to the other stuff.
Right.
Because this is the perfect time for today's Black History Month, FYI. Today, we honor Frederick Douglass. For those who don't know, Douglass was born a slave, escaped to New York at 20, went on to become a powerful leader in the anti-slavery movement. He was the first black citizen to hold high government rank, including diplomat to the Dominican Republic and later for the Republic of Haiti. He was also the first black person nominated for Vice President of the United States as Victoria Woodhull's running mate on the Equal Rights Party ticket in 1872. There are volumes you can read about this incredibly great American for those who are interested.
Right. Well,
okay?
yeah.
But
It's out there.
Even if you didn't know, even if you didn't know the depth of the history, shouldn't you know the guy's dead? He's not alive. I mean,
Not just a little dead.
I mean,
122 years.
They're talking
Really
about
dead.
it.
Yeah, really dead.
He's like just dead, okay?
Yeah.
But you know, let's go on because our president did shed some light on his priorities at this morning's National Prayer Breakfast. Take a look.
They hired a big movie star, Arnold Schwarzenegger, to take my place. And we know how that turned out. The ratings went right down the tubes. It's been a total disaster. And Mark will never, ever bet against Trump again. And I want to just pray for Arnold, if we can, for those ratings, okay?
Wait. Now, Arnold was quick to answer his prayer with this suggestion. Take a look.
Hey, Donald, I have a great idea. Why don't we switch jobs? You take over TV, because you're such an expert in ratings, and I take over your job. And then people can finally sleep comfortably again.
But here's the question before you say it. Does this mean Arnold's going to have to watch his immigration status?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, right.
Well, he was governor, so I guess.
Yeah.
But I don't have time to play for Arnold. I'm too busy praying for Melania.
Well, it's super tone deaf when you think of all we've talked about and all these people with this travel ban that have been stuck. And whether you agree or don't agree, we all agreed that there were innocent victims with their lives at stake, and you're praying for someone on TV. Like, and you're the executive producer of that program.
It's an embarrassment to listen to
embarrassment.
him.
It's a prayer
That he's
breakfast.
worried about
I know.
Apprentice when the world is full. And he's creating such chaos around the world. And also, wasn't he elected by the so-called Rust Belt voters to get jobs? Why doesn't he concentrate just on that? Just that one
That's the thing. That's the thing.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, as somebody who, I didn't vote for him, but I do support a lot of what I'm seeing. I have to say, Donald, it's not about you. It's not about your ratings. It's not about, stop caring about this stuff and start caring about jobs. Start caring about the people behind the scenes who gave you. You wouldn't have this job if it weren't for the hardworking people who believed in you.
And the FBI, don't forget them.
You owe, well,
The Russians.
you owe me.
And the Russians.
Yeah, but he owes people. He's indebted to them because he wouldn't be in that position without them, and they don't want to hear about Fox News or CNN or his ratings or nonsense.
He's
they
gonna
want to
lose
hear
them
about how
too,
he's
though,
gonna
if he
help.
doesn't start speaking to what he
Well,
told them.
now you
it's
got
time to
something to
grow
pray
up.
for.
Yeah.
That he doesn't get reelected.
Well, you're already on the
I'm
re-election.
already in church. I'm not a religious person, but I'm going back. I am. I'm going back.
What was strange to me was just you know, this is the National Prayer Breakfast, and it has been taking place since 1953. You know, Dwight Eisenhower participated, was the first president to participate in the annual event. So how could you say something like that in front of not only Americans, there are 3,500 guests, including international invitees from over 100
Because he
countries.
doesn't know the difference. He doesn't get it.
Because he's an
He thinks
egomaniac.
it's
It's so
brilliant. He
tone
thinks
deaf.
it's interesting. He thinks it's fun.
He's an egomaniac.
Steve
because
Bannon, we see what you're doing.
egomaniac.
We know what you're doing, Steve. We know you are slipping him all this information. We know this is you, President Steve Bannon. We're hip to you. Hold on, we're gonna go and come right back. We'll be right back.
Still ahead, Condemnation? Sunny's surprising discovery at her son's school that has her rethinking what safe sex really is. Still ahead, Dr. Phil McGraw gives his diagnosis on post-election stress disorder. Plus, someone is just minutes away from winning this gorgeous Gucci bag worth almost $2 grand.
Hey, Thursday, what's happening?
What day is it?
It's funny you ask. Elevate your Valentine's Day gift to a work of art this year with Minted, a design marketplace of the world's best emerging artists where you create custom personalized gifts your loved ones will treasure. Check out unique classroom Valentines, photo cards, and one-of-a-kind art gifts. And thanks to Minted, get ready, members of our audience are getting a $200 Minted voucher.
I can see that has thrilled you. I bet this thrilled you too. Beyonce has the internet losing its mind right now for posting a photo to announce that she and Jay-Z have twins on the way. Yeah. And a lot of people can't believe that they managed to keep that quiet. But I'm sorry, Pharrell has triplets in January. Now, you want to talk about keeping stuff quiet. Nobody knew. You
no
saw
idea.
his wife, she looked just like this.
Yeah.
And then suddenly they were talking about the fact that there were triplets. I mean, it's kind of amazing. But I'm interested in the
Keep that picture. The optics.
The optics of all of this.
Well, what's with the veil? Is it a virgin birth or what?
It's artsy, though.
I think Sarah has some information.
The big thing here is she's showing her belly. And so the idea of birthers isn't just a political issue. There were people that questioned whether she gave birth to Blue Ivy. So this is kind of in your face, in my belly picture to let her know she's got twins in there. You've also got the flowers are kind of both colors. A lot of people are questioning that they're not giving away the sex or gender of the babies. Also, you'll notice the ivy that lines the bottom. That is a sign of...
Is it blue ivy?
It might be kind of an homage to ivy, and it's also a sign of fidelity, which could be a little shout out to those who thought the lemonade was autobiographical.
So, I love that, Sarah. That was a good breakdown.
Cheers.
Oh, my God.
That was excellent.
That was exhausting. That was exhausting. Whatever
good
happened to the births? You know, people used to send out a birth announcement. I'm pregnant. What happened to that? Now,
nobody
you gotta
sent
figure
that
it
out.
out.
So
It's got 8.1 million likes.
You know, those likes can really get you into big trouble. But then we'll talk about that another time because we're going to talk about something we love because Sunny was at her son's school the other day and saw something that, well, this says it surprised her. It totally freaked her out.
Go ahead.
Well, I went to a meeting at my son's school, and I went into the girls' bathroom at the high school, and I saw a very pretty...
Act, just tell them what it was.
A basket of condoms.
I thought it was an offering dish.
Yeah, and it was very prettily presented, and I was freaking horrified.
But it was,
as you can see, you know, I mean, I said that to my husband.
It was in the girls' bathroom.
It was in the girls' bathroom.
That's a
And
fact.
the thing is, you know, the school didn't tell me that they were doing that. I mean, I know he's 14. Listen, I know that he knows about sex, and I've had that conversation with him. But, you know, I have, but we teach abstinence in our home. I mean, that's our faith. That's what we teach. And just the fact that the condoms were just like, take me. I was really uncomfortable
But if
with
your
it.
suggestion of a condom would send a kid to sex, then they were about to go there anyway.
That's true.
Yeah.
Like, I think the big thing for me is that I would also, I'm very comfortably right now with a child that doesn't walk yet. So sex is not on our radar quite yet. But I also believe, like, even if that's where it comes from in the home, it's important to arm your child from the inside out to handle those situations rather than feeling you can guard the world from them, because that will be an unwinnable battle.
Yeah.
Like, it'll be everywhere.
I understand, though. I understand why you were upset for the mere fact that you didn't know that was going on.
No,
and
I
I
didn't
think,
know.
you know, these are minors, and I strongly believe in parental rights and your right to decide what message you give to your children, and you need to know what's going on in that school. So if they had come to you and said, look, this is our policy, we have condoms available in the bathroom, this is how we run the school, we feel the need to let you know before we enact this policy, get some of your feedback. I think that's the way to go.
What did they say?
Nothing. They said
And
nothing.
they shouldn't have, because the fact of the matter is, we don't teach children how to avoid having sex. We don't teach it in school. We don't teach anything about sex. Parents don't want to have the conversation. They always say, I want to be the person, but they never do it. So you have to know that he didn't tell you because it's not something he's interested in. He's not doing it. Do you understand? Your son says, my face says, I'm a wait. So that's why he didn't have the conversation. But think of all the kids whose parents can't handle it. And, you know, if you freak out and you're really sort of moderate, imagine the folks who say, I don't want anybody talking to my kid about sex. And then those are the ones that are experimenting in the bathroom. And I have to say, nobody wants to see it. Nobody wants to see it, but we can't deny that it's happening. So how can we protect them?
I feel like had it been in the nurse's office, I felt like it was giving, you know, would they give my kid birth control at the school? Like birth control pills?
No,
it was the same to me.
Condom for the boy.
It's not a conversation, though. Like, I hear what you're saying, and I think it's a good point, but by placing condoms in a bathroom, that's not the school having a conversation with the kids. That's saying, here, it looks like candy. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
It didn't look like candy to me.
It's reality-based.
It is,
It's reality-based. They know
Okay,
that kids at that age are having
She's the mom,
sex.
though.
Yes, but you know, there are hundreds of moms in that school, and not all of them feel like Sonny.
You know
and
how
so
many people-
somebody has to do something. I hate to stop us, but we have to go and come right back. He gave me the two-prayer thing. He gave me the two-prayer. Sorry. That's a good
Hey, Dr. Phil here, about to visit with the ladies. And here's a Dr. Phil fun fact. Did you know a study shows that since Trump was elected, therapists are more in demand? He's already a job creator.
So, millions of Americans tune in to Dr. Phil every day. And a lot of them could use his advice right now.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk to Dr. Phil McGraw. Welcome, man. Welcome back. Good to see you. So if you're teaching abstinence at home, does putting condoms in high school bathrooms send the wrong message?
In the girls' bathroom.
In any bathroom.
Any bathroom, yeah.
You got to tell the parents. If you're going to do it, tell the parents, because the thing I've always said is, as parents, we're not going to be the only voice in our child's ear, so we need to be the best voice in our child's ear. And if we don't know that this is an option for them at school, then we don't have the opportunity to sit down and say, hey, okay, let's talk about this. I wasn't born last night. I know what's going on. I know what your options are. That's there. It's not encouragement, it's let's talk about it. I want to know, so if my child sees it the first day, I want to be able to talk to them about it. It's their right to do it. I think sex education is good, but involve the parents. Don't go around them. What the hell's that all about?
Yeah, I would have liked to have known.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's something that I'm interested in. Now,
No follow-up.
do you want to do a follow-up?
No, I was just, yeah.
You do?
No.
So,
Do y'all need a minute?
no, that's all right.
No, she's got to ask you this question.
Yeah, I
She's
got to
been
answer this
burning.
question because though they can't diagnose anybody, you know, from afar, somebody they haven't examined, doctors, therapists, a lot of respected psychologists out there, really big-time, big names, are saying that Donald Trump is showing signs of narcissism, which, by the way, one of the symptoms is preoccupied with the fantasies of unlimited power, success, and brilliance. And they're questioning that he has narcissistic disorder. Number one, do you think that's a mental illness, narcissism? And if so, is he fit to be president?
Well, Counselor, that's a compound question, and I object. But, you know, people talk about narcissism, but they don't really know what it means. So I brought a list from the DSM-5 about what narcissism really is, because if I asked people to stand up and define it, they wouldn't know.
All right.
And let's just take a vote. One, has a grandiose sense of self-importance.
Check.
Check. Okay.
Next.
2, is preoccupied with fantasies of success, power, or brilliance, which you said. Check. Okay. 3, believes that he or she is special or unique.
Check.
Can only be understood by special people. 4, requires excessive admiration.
Oh, check.
Has a sense of entitlement, which means is very thin-skinned. If you're
Oh,
entitled,
check.
is interpersonally exploitive.
Oh, yeah.
Lacks empathy. Has the inability to stand in other people's shoes and understand.
You
that
mean
it's-
like when he makes fun of people who are handicapped or
I'm just
disabled?
reading it. You interpret it however you
example.
want. Is often envious of others or believes that others are envious of him or her. Shows arrogant and haughty behavior.
Case
How
closed.
many people does that? That's a lot of people.
Well, that is a lot of people, and if you take out everybody that has any of those characteristics, then you're going to take out a lot of people, including some at this table. But
Yourself included.
absolutely.
Really? Which one are you?
Well, I'll tell you what. Leaders.
Which one are you?
Let's see. I would have to check a few of
You
these.
have to have all of them, though, to be a narcissist?
First off, you have to have a number of these present for an extended period of time, and they have to be disruptive to your functioning.
Duh.
Okay? As we disruptive to your functioning. And so the question is this malignant to the point that it puts people's lives in jeopardy, puts our futures in jeopardy?
Yeah.
That's what you have to decide. I doubt that there's ever been anyone that has sat in the chair of the presidency that didn't have some type of imbalance mentally or emotionally at some point in their lives.
Well, Nixon did,
we
too.
all have our, we all have our hearts broken. We all have things that we go through.
You wouldn't look at President Obama and say he has narcissistic disorder. So you can't just say they all have it.
I didn't
Some
say they
people
all
have
have it.
all the things you said. You
Right.
just checked every one of them.
I said most leaders are under a lot of stress and pressure.
Yeah.
So a lot of them will show anxiety, depression at different times. A lot of leaders will have some affliction at different times because of the pressure and demands of the office.
She could talk about this all day, so
I
why don't we
could.
come over here? I have to ask about a moment on your show that's gone viral. The original clip has over 21 million views. I think you know what I'm talking about. It's a sassy 13-year-old girl that got a little annoyed with the audience, but let's take a look at this clip.
Did you say the hoes are laughing?
Yep.
So the audience are a bunch of hoes.
Yep. Catch me outside. How about that?
Catch you outside? What does that mean?
Now, this girl has become the biggest social media sensation of 2017. She spawned a meme. She spawned an emoji. You'll see this? Cash me outside, how about that? That's me.
That looks like you.
That's my emoji.
Yeah, that's you.
Also saying that. There's a song. I think we have that too.
Catch me outside.
Catch.
Catch me outside. Catch me outside.
So, how do you feel about all this?
Well, first off, my internet people were telling me the other day that if you put them all together, there's like 157 million views of this thing.
Right. Wow.
And at the time, and I'm part of this song because they have me saying, what? I'm talking, this girl is like 12 or 13, and I'm like,
that's
what did you say? I couldn't even understand
I
what
think
she
it
was
means
saying.
you want a piece of me? You want a piece of me?
Oh, her mother was interpreting for her. She said she wants to go outside and whoop some ass.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Wait, can we have, the one thing we haven't heard is you actually say the phrase. Can you say it once for us here?
Catch me outside?
How about that?
How about that? But here's the thing. This young lady was very much on self-destruct. We sent her to a very intensive therapeutic program for kids, and she spent 60 days there. And I can tell you here what nobody else knows is she's going to be back on the Dr. Phil show next week.
Oh,
And so we're going
you made
to
a
see.
star out of her.
We're going to see what's happened. Is she still the way she was, or has she made some changes?
I want to jump in because, you know, on today's episode of Dr. Phil, you have a different teenage girl, a 15-year-old girl, Kayla Wasco, on. She made national news when she went missing in December. She was found days later 200 miles away with a 37-year-old man. Was she abducted or did she run away?
Well, this was an Amber Alert situation. This girl went out her bedroom window. What we found out was she ran away with a friend of hers father, who was a sex offender.
Ew. Oh.
And she had been in a
can I interrupt you
relationship.
for 1 second? Because we have a clip I want to show the audience.
You were leaving the house like you were going to school, but you were actually going to meet up with this 37-year-old man.
Yes, he would pick me up at the neighborhood behind the school.
Wow.
Where's the father? What a jerk he is.
Well, this man told her the night that they left, you either come with me or I'm going to kill myself.
Yeah.
And he used emotional extortion, took her out the window, and they went into another state. And she had been in a relationship with him for 6 months, and her mother did not know it. Yeah. He was a sex offender. He even told her, I was convicted of sex acts with a young girl earlier, but it wasn't my fault because she came on to me.
Of course. Always the rap.
And so, but
Terrible.
she's back now and she is safe. This is a cautionary tale. Parents, know who you're turning your children over to. I don't care if it's a teacher, a coach, a parent, or whoever. Don't believe the social mask. It took us 30 seconds on the internet to click on this guy and find
You
out
just
he
have
was
to
a
do your
sex offender.
homework. I mean, it's having a child is a responsibility, and everybody is insisting that people have babies. But after you have them, you got to get on there. You got to chase. You got to talk to them, and you got to try to equip them.
Parent is both a noun and a verb.
Yes.
Yep.
That's what we used to believe. Let's see if we can make it show. Thank you, Dr. Phil. You can catch Dr. Phil weekdays. Check your local listings. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You know, last night, students at UC Berkeley staged protests against the planned speech of an editor from Breitbart, and the whole thing got violent. And, you know, I can't say this strongly enough. You can protest any speaker you want to, but the minute you get violent, you say you're protesting because you want to protect people and stuff, and then you go and burn people's stuff. What the hell, man?
I think it's two
What the
different
hell?
groups.
It does. Whoever it is, it all happened in Berkeley, and you should not. You can protest and say we don't want this speaker. Don't go hear him, because the problem with you saying stop this person can't come is the person you want to come then will be stopped by somebody else.
And wasn't it Martin Luther King that always talked about when you get violent, you betray the message of what you're trying to say, and you lose your power.
You lose all your power.
There were protesters and there were outside agitators. So the protesters did not do this.
But we don't know who did it. We don't know who did it. That's the problem.
That's what you've heard.
And everyone gets lumped together, and it becomes the narrative becomes all the protesters did this. And so what I'm saying is, listen, outside agitators, you're not helping. You're not helping because you are burning people's businesses. You are setting people back. What the hell, man? Protest all you want to. Stop messing with people's stuff.
But let's talk about whether he has a right to protest, to speak there.
Absolutely. I just said everybody has the right to speak.
Well, I think everyone has a right to speak, but basically, when I was in college, they really vetted people who were going to speak. There were, maybe people like JFK would come to the school. You know what I mean? It wasn't just some troll on the internet, which is what this guy basically is.
He is that, but that is not.
Don't say his name, because I don't think he deserves any more press.
But he was invited by the Republicans, the Young Republicans Club.
I'm just saying, I'm the First Amendment person here. I really believe in it. But this guy, why'd they invite this guy? He has been banned from Twitter. He made horrible comments against Leslie Jones from SNL.
Yes.
He said at least the new Ghostbusters has a hot black guy in it, meaning her. Now, here is hate speech. It's speech that offends, threatens, or insults groups based on race, color, religion, national origin, sexual orientation, disability. So he's a sexist. He's a racist. Why should he be invited?
Listen, that is not our thing to control. If they want to invite him, that's fine. You don't have to go see him. You don't have to go see him, but you cannot.
It's a slippery
You can
slope
say
when you
we're
start
going to
cutting off.
protest.
I agree with
We
that.
can protest outside because you don't have to go in, but you don't have the right to destroy other people's stuff.
And what's ironic about it is that Berkeley, I agree with you 100%. Berkeley was the home of free speech. Berkeley was the place where free speech fights started.
They didn't like
and
it
what
then,
these
believe
people
me.
don't realize, though, is if you start objecting to everyone that you disagree with, then next the person you like, you're going to have people coming out.
Jed.
You can't.
The
I'm
guy,
surprised people
the
don't
guy
wanna
is a
listen,
racist,
though.
homophobe.
But if
Come on.
he's a racist homophobe, if that's true, if that's
He's
what he is,
also
and
gay.
he goes, your biggest
No, I know
objection
he's
to that is by not showing up. Let him have an empty room of people.
And they have
Yeah.
a right to
Let that
protest
be-
it. They
and
don't have a right to be
but
violent.
They don't have a right to be violent.
know that. We
that's
agree
what
with
we're-
that.
But that's
also-
what we're talking
but
about.
the sentiment of everyone who disagrees with me should be banned also is a problem.
Nobody's saying that.
That exists too.
I'm
That
sorry,
does
what-
And what
exist.
about Trump? The first thing he says is, we're going to withdraw federal funds. Knee-jerk reaction
Okay,
to what
so
goes
that
on.
can't happen. That's the first thing. They're not allowed to do that because people are allowed to protest. That's part of being an
Exactly.
American.
They're
not allowed to riot.
However, you can protest anybody and anyone can protest you. You have the right to do that. That's what we're saying. But you do not have the right to destroy, and we'll be right back.
We know that.
So, yes, we're back. There's a new dating site that will match you with someone who dislikes all of the same stuff that you dislike. So you can find love through shared hate.
Yep.
Seems to
like
make
that.
sense to a lot of people.
Yep.
Yeah.
My husband and I both dislike those condoms in that bathroom. I'll tell you that much. I showed him the picture and
I
he
bet you
didn't like
less
it either.
if one of those little girls was pregnant and pointed at your son.
That's a good point.
You know?
This is business of abstinence that you keep talking about.
It's not gonna- it's
I don't
not
know if
gonna
it's
work
hold.
out?
I don't know.
No. Because you know what? She lives in her faith. She just does that. And
Yeah.
they raise their family in their faith. The thing that frightens me when I see this is, you remember, we've had 2 generations of young women who said, well, I didn't put it on because he said it doesn't feel as good with
Yeah, I
the
know.
condom on.
Oy.
You know what? I'd rather they were in there so that girls learn to put them in their pockets. And if they get, if they find themselves in a position, because hold up the condom and see God flee away.
Yeah.
That's the best abstinence. You have to use this. But getting back to things you
The
hate.
problem arises when you
Really?
and your partner both
You're
hate
staying
condoms.
Yes.
Just to get you back to
Right.
the topic.
Yes, that's what I was coming
Thanks
back.
for bringing us back.
Okay.
Don't you love the hater app?
I do love that. I agree with that.
You said, Steve, and you would have loved
Steve
each
and I
other on that.
We cannot stand the same people. We hate the same type of shows. We hate whatever. We do. And we don't talk about how we love this and this and this. We talk about how we hate this and this.
Because when I saw it for the first time, I didn't think of my own relationship. I thought of my parents, who are almost together 50 years. I thought, oh my gosh, rather than looking at all they love, they do line up. But I actually can peg more things they hate together than anything.
It keeps you together. You
Yeah,
have this common enemy.
nothing like hate to bring 2 people together forever.
Well, you love each other. You just hate that.
It's true.
If I walk past the TV and it's on, you know who was talking, I go, what an idiot. And he goes, yeah. See, we
He
agree.
never looks sexier than when he screams at that TV about you-know-who.
Yeah.
My grandparents used to sit on a bench in Brooklyn, and my grandfather would go to her, I hate that guy, and she'd be like, I hate that guy too. And it was a bonding moment. It's true, and I'm the same way. If I say I hate something, and my boyfriend is like, oh, I like that, I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
how do you? I don't know you.
like he cheated
Maybe
on
I don't know you.
Yes.
Right?
You know what I
It's a
hate?
bonding.
Having to go.
Yes, we'll be right back.
Welcome back. The wait is finally over. One viewer is about to win this beautiful Gucci bag worth almost $2,000, and that viewer's name is Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis?
Bruce Willis, I know, like the actor.
What is his name?
He's gonna
Bruce
get
Willis, like the actor. But
I love it.
congratulations, Bruce.
Thank you, thank you.
Now, what are you going to do with the bag?
Give it to Demi Moore.
No. I'm giving that back to my best friend, my lover, my wife, Phyllis Willis.
Oh,
Phyllis Willis.
wonderful. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you guys so much.
Congratulations to
Thank
the
you.
Willises.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for coming. You made us have a really wonderful show. We want you to have a great day and take a little time to enjoy the view, y'all.